Sup guys, Juggalo23451 back again. This is going to be part 2. As I showed you in my other video, there's pink crap everywhere on the North Bridge. Now, if I bring my camera closer to it, it is nice and shiny. Coming from experience of doing this my first time, I find it odd. I thought Asus would make it a little easier for us to be able to put water blocks on, but apparently I was mistaken. What I would personally do is, I guess, a lot of isopropyl alcohol, a lot of Q-tips. I practically went through half of my Q-tips. I used the isopropyl alcohol, kind of let it soak a little, and then from there try to scrub it. Then I realized, oh great, it's not even coming off. So I gently used my nails that thankfully I didn't cut that need to be cut, and I just scraped off a little bit really slowly the goo because it was very, very sticky. So yeah, very odd indeed about that whole deal and how they have it set up. So we can go ahead and continue on and uninstalling the main chipset. So just let me flip it around, and I have the RAM installed. I have the XSPC twin plates installed, so it's giving it more rigidity for what I'm doing. So you're going to take these two screws out, and this piece should just fall right off or darn near close to it. So these screws right here are going to be replaced by the screws that XSPC gives you, because you see how they're real skinny, but the other ones, like I showed you in my other video, they're very long, and they have a washer too to accommodate the water blocks. So I'm just holding this right here with my hand. Okay, and survey says this should come right off no problem. Okay, let me flip it around and make sure it's not attached to a heat pipe of any kind. Oh, it is. Oh, isn't that? Yeah, see, right there you can see the heat pipe. So that means I gotta undo these two right here, or four. 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. And then this whole thing should just come off no problem, hopefully. So do that. And if you guys want me to do an install of the Raystorm water block for socket 2011, let me know. I did that. I did one for the 1366 platform, I believe, a long time ago, but I might do it for socket 2011 because the mounting options are a little bit different and how you do it, because they already have a back plate installed where you just screw on the post directly instead of using a back plate. So you see, moment of truth. I feel it a little loose, so let's see if I can lift this up and by the weight of the chipset. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let me go ahead and... There you go. There. Before you get covered up, let's check out these awesome components. Here is the Asus Rampage Black Edition heat pipe completely taken off. So let me go ahead and take my camera and see if I can unzoom it a little bit. Okay, it is unzoomed, so that's good. So let's check it out right here without me trying to block out. But here's all the goodies right here. A little closer of how I cleaned this up. It's a little more shinier. All that fun stuff. So now the fun part begins, and I am going to try to... Apparently my webcam wasn't zoomed up. There we go. Do it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. Basically now all you're going to do is go over the components that you know that are going to have thermal pads and or thermal paste. This was a 5 to 10 minute deal, and I'm not joking. As far as, let me go ahead and move this. 5 to 10 minutes to get all this crap off. I'm not kidding you. So take your time with it. So now we're just going to go over these a little bit. Make sure that they look spotless. They look clean, but I like to ensure everything's good to go. And basically I'm just doing a small circular motion on all the areas that are going to be covered in thermal pads. Okay, and I believe the smallest one is going to be right, looking at the instructions, right here. So these are, it's a little dry, so let me go ahead and, there we go. Now you don't need a lot of isopropyl alcohol, but you just, there we go. That's a little bit better. There we go. And make sure the CPU is clean too, because I already took off the heatsink on that because I plan to put on the XSPC Ray Storm water block. I'll make an instructional or tutorial on how to do that probably, just because mounting options are a little bit different, as you know, CPU installation has changed. It varies between 1366 stock at 2011 and then 1150, 1155. There's a lot of different mounting options. Okay. All right. See all that goo, and then I go over it again, the clean side / dry side, to try to get everything off. You know, any lines or, okay. All right. Let's have some fun. Now, this is going to be kind of hard. I don't have an X-Acto knife, and I highly recommend to have an X-Acto knife to install these thermal pads. But in turn, I do have a flathead screwdriver, which is almost like an X-Acto knife. Sort of. And then, let me see if I could, like, this multi-tool is awesome. Holy bajolies. These are already rusting, so I will not be using these if they're rusting. I don't know how or what happened. That's pretty bad. So this is just a cheap tool that I like to use, but I guess I will not be using any tools inside there because they're rusting. Okay. And it says before you apply the thermal pad to take both sides off. So there's one part, and then let me try to get the other. And this is I would say this is going to probably be the lengthiest part of the video, is trying to get the thermal pads off, or I should say the plastic off the thermal pads, just because of me not having an X-Acto knife. Because what I would really like for them to do is actually make the pieces that go over the thermal pad extend past the thermal pad, so all you have to do is just lift it up with no problem. So that's the problem I'm gonna have here. So, okay. So using my flathead screwdriver, almost had it. And you're gonna realize it's gonna want to come up with the plastic sheeting, of course. So okay. And what what I like to do is try to get it in the center of the plastic sheeting and try not to touch the center as much. You could touch the edges, but I try not to touch the center. Okay, that looks good. Now it's gonna be the moment of truth. Okay. Right here. We have thermal paste right here. I do not have a freaking napkin, which I should have gotten earlier, so because when you squirt out the paste for the first time, it's not going to be even. There we go. Got it out. And then all I do is do this in the center. If I can get... Oh, look, it looks like a little Hershey Kiss. Okay. Put the top back on. Okay. Now, it's the moment of truth, if I still got it. So here we go. There's the block itself. Da 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 da. And right here, this little hole. Let me get right here. That's so it can cover up this one right here. This little electrical connector. So basically, let me see. This is gonna be hard, but essentially you gotta kind of eyeball it, and hopefully you get it right. Okay. Okay, let me put these up. And let me see if I rotate the motherboard a little bit. I might be able to eyeball it a little bit better. Ta-da! There we go. That is one slick looking little block. Now the fun part is going to try to get one of these screws put in, so I'm going to have to think of some ingenious idea right off of my head. Okay, I'm going to use this, and what I'm going to do, you're going to laugh at me, but I'm going to have to put this underneath here, and then I'm going to have to try to get one or two screws in, and then from there I'll be able to flip it over and call it good. So wish me luck on this adventure right now. Pick it up. Put the motherboard right there. Make sure it's in place. Okay. And the great thing is these are spring loaded, so that means it's going to be that much harder to hold in place. So let's see how this goes. I might be able to, getting tongue tied, sorry. I might be able to do it, but we'll see. Let's see if I might be able to, okay. So if I put any pressure up here, this is going to pop up that area, and if I do anything up here, it's going to put pressure on here and make this lift up. So that's going to be the fun part. Okay. So let's see how this goes. Because it says, oh, all you have to do is just flip the motherboard around over and call it good, and you should be able to install it with no problem. So I don't think that's really going to happen, but I might be able to hold it into place somewhat because of I have the RAM water block, so I'll be able to somewhat hold it into place. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. So again, this is kind of the moment of truth. So this is kind of hard doing it one-handed. No help whatsoever. So I like to do crisscross pattern and then get it to the point where it's going to be holding the block into place somewhat. And then from there, I'll go at the top and I'll tighten that down all the way, and then these four little guys right here. So okay, then I need one screw to line up right here. That one screw that we saved, guys, it's going to go right there. Tighten that all the way, then I'll tighten these down all the way. And then I'm going to get this plastic piece out of the way that was completely useless. So, and then voila, that is slick, man. That looks awesome. So what you can tell if I move it up a little bit more and see if I can bring my camera down without affecting the lighting, is right here. Where's my screwdriver? Right there, they actually made some kind of indentation right here, so you can put this down all the way and it won't interfere with your card. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Okay. Alright, so next step, we have to use the small little screws with the washers, and we're going to have to put the blue thermal pad right between here. So this is going to be fun trying to cover all these guys right here. And then you put the gray thermal pad on top of these guys. And you want to make sure that these guys right here are covered all the way. If not, you might create a short and there it goes. Bye-bye your motherboard. So you don't want that happening to you, trust me. Alright, so I say let's do the most pain in the butt first. But for some reason, I love these blue thermal pads because taking them apart is a heck of a lot easier than the gray. I don't know if it's because they're thicker or what, but it just seems a lot easier to do. So let me go ahead and get this part off. Got one part. And these are going to be sticking to you too. Alright, so I just gingerly will do it something like that. And then I'm going to have to try to do it like this, but it's going to make it harder for me, sort of, but try to coax it into place. So, like that, and then gentle push down. Something like that. And then, let me see if I can move it down a little bit more because I see how it's moving. So let me see if I can slightly lift this up. Lift that up and try to pull it a little bit more here. Now I accidentally pulled it too much, so right there, there we go. So there we go. That looks good. Then we have to do this one. Right here. This is going to be the pain in the butt one. Personally, because of how skinny this thermal pad is, so we'll see if it's a pain in the butt or not. Okay. Looks like I got it in one try. So, oops, accidentally fell. And again, my situation's kind of crappy, but again, you know, the probably, like I said before, an X-Acto knife would probably help you out a lot. So, and also probably behoove of you if you had some kind of nails too, so you can get a hold of the plastic. Okay, there we go. And then what you're going to do is slowly drag this over here. So over these guys, so it kind of sucks because you got to be really spot on because you don't want these guys to, you know, short out when you put this stuff on. So looks like I might be able to pull it over a little bit more my way, like so. And then I'll try to, so there's a little excess there, so I'm not sure if a pair of scissors would be able to cut that off. Let's see. Okay, just making sure I'm doing this right. You only have one shot. There we go. Alright, and then take this excess off and try to get it out of here. Next thing that I would recommend is probably a pair of tweezers for when you do that. So that's what I'm going to have to find real quick, or some kind of really thin tool. Okay, there it is. Gotcha. Alright, now we can put this block on. Of course, this plastic wrap is really good, so I gotta find out where the undo it. Oh, screw it, I'll use scissors. It's like almost feels like it's vacuum sealed on here. Okay. There we go. Here's the block again. Undone. And then all you have to do is just line them up. So, and it's good. It's okay if it goes over a little bit. I'm sure you can trim that off with an X-Acto knife once you get all these screws, you know, mounted on and everything like that, if you want to be a perfectionist. So, alright. So I'm getting these really small screws and I'm putting these washers on. Thank God. If you lose a washer, they actually include an extra one, which is pretty nice. So this is probably going to be another tricky one to do again, because you got to hold the block into place. And they're like, oh yeah, you just flip the motherboard over and you just screw them on, but there's more to that because you have to support the water block, and while you're supporting the water block, you have to make sure you're not shifting it everywhere. And if it shifts, you know, you might have a chance of the thermal pads moving, and then if you have the thermal pads moving, and then you might create a short. So this is all a delicate process. So I think I might just do it like this, and then just do it this way and stick it in by hand first. So I know I'm off the shot right now, and I apologize, but I had to get this one screw in really quick before my hand started to slip. So and then we'll do that. This screw is not wanting to go in, so for some reason. Okay, let's pull this screw out and see why. Okay, it's a little off center. There we go. Alright, hopefully you guys can see it. And then we'll go into this one and we'll screw this one all the way down. Because you don't want to, what you don't want to do is tighten the screws off right away. What you want to do is just wait a little bit and then do it all the way down. Okay. And you don't need to crank it down, just do it to where you can't turn it no more. Like so. Alright, this was a 30-minute video, go figure. And now I'm just going to go ahead and ensure everything is nice and tight on my other GPU, which it should. I'll go ahead and give some support while I'm doing that. Excuse me. Alright. Here we go, guys. Chipset is installed. Everything is good to go. I'll probably might take an X-Acto knife and slowly cut off the excess, it looks like, on either side here. Also, like what I like to do is I'll take a screwdriver and flip it around and actually stick it between the thermal pad and the water block itself to make sure it's making contact on all the points like it should be doing, just as a safety precaution and ensure I installed it properly. Alright guys, I guess that's it for now. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry it was so long, but as always, comment, subscribe, rate this video, click that like button, and you guys have a great day now. Bye.